Peace to the tribe locally and the tribe worldwide. I'm Chief of New City, Amin Ra, hailing from the north side of the Jack, Presidential Hills to be exact. And welcome to the Rolling Hour. If you watch my prelude episode, then you know why we're here. And we're gonna take a beautiful, beautiful ride. Right now, we are located in the Chief's studio where I make most of my cigars, preparing for different events, weddings, corporate functions, hosting friends, you know what I'm saying, family, and where I kick it. So more like a studio man cave where a lot of the magic happens. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that the official first episode of the Rolling Hour is sponsored by the Backwood brand. And shout out to Backwoods, man, for the opportunity to be their tobacconist, to build our product, to storytell and narrate about taste, etiquette, and the thing I love the most, tobacco. So let's get right into it. Today's conversation is cigars, a luxury statement. And I believe that this is a fundamental time in my podcast and on this journey as you walk with me to learn kind of where I stand on things as a tobacconist and kind of my reason, how and why rather I navigate the industry and the pace and methodology that I do. So before we get to do that, I'm gonna light up my cigar. And I started it earlier while I was preparing because I really wanted to have this cigar today. And then I put it out because I didn't want to smoke through it before I got a chance to talk about it because it's my third time having it. But I'm very, very pleased with this cigar. And the name of this cigar is Honor Amongst Thieves. Honor Amongst Thieves. This is by a brand I am hugely fond of, Sinestro, which is made at the La Aurora factory. Full body, full strength cigar. I think this particular Vitola size is a box press 54 by 6.5. If my metrics and eyes serve me well. Beautiful, beautiful cigar. Currently I'm having it with some chamomile tea in one of my favorite cups. Thing 1, you know what I'm saying? And my children are thing 2 and 3. So we're gonna light up. I hope during this time I'm lighting up, you lighting up as well, so we can have this dialogue. I'm super, super excited to have it. So pardon me. The smell is beautiful. For me, you know, a lot of people give particular notes on cigars where they kind of go into a lot of ingredients that I don't think people can taste without having it a supporting dish or something, maybe a complete dish. So I kind of try to use basic ingredients that people can actually go buy and kind of taste it in food. So right now, I'm a pepper connoisseur, so red pepper on the retrohale, more like black pepper on the draw. Definitely soft like molasses, which I enjoy. Has a cream dexterity, more like a spiked eggnog. Really, really like it, and I wanted to have it with a beautiful tea because I really wanted to highlight the cigar as I finished it. And I'm already into the second, third currently. Enjoying this cigar a lot. So today's topic, cigars as a luxury statement and not just a habit. And I wanted to take the first couple episodes outside of the interlude episode to bring us in to do some establishing for my new smokers who are maybe, you know, thinking about picking this up as a hobby, for the patrons that I serve at like weddings and corporate functions that keep up with me and like, hey, I think I really want to do this and I kind of want to learn more about it. For my people that are using or partaking in cigars, perhaps in a networking opportunity, a way to kind of integrate yourself on the corporate ladder, close some business, or a sister who may be courting someone new and wanted to buy a good gift and really try to figure out this thing. This conversation is kind of really aligned around that. Nothing too serious. You'll learn as a tobacconist and as a person who consumes the tobacco that most of the time it doesn't have to be super complex, overarching conversation where people get lost in the minutia of semantics and the language that the tobacco industry also often presents, very similar to others. So my examples, analogies, and storytelling kind of around the tobacco community, I normally use things that we can kind of understand, like food. I think food is kind of really simple for people to get, and I love food. I'm from Mississippi, so food is a huge thing, and I now live in New Orleans, another place where food is a language of its own. So I'll try to use that as a analogy form, if you will, to make my case on certain points. So here to that, and let's get started. So now, when you think about like cigars and tobacco in general, most of the times I know the common thing when we're thinking about cigars is like, oh, this celebrity is smoking them, or you think if it's a guy, oh, he had a baby and he's smoking a cigar, he got a job promotion and he's smoking a cigar, he just closed on a home and he's smoking a cigar. And I hope y'all following my trends. All of the celebratory things, and yes, those things are beautiful opportunities to partake in cigars, and in tobacco in general. But to add some context to it, it's just because during the course of time, cigars have always been seen as a status symbol, a soft status symbol, because it takes patience. There's a level of opulence and leisure, I would say, to have pleasant banter, some more complex, aggressive banter, closed deals, to take a moment to celebrate over the plant. And I think that speaks to the craft, the time that it takes to go into it, and just in very diverse means of celebration. But I think another stereotype too is often that only men partake in. I've spoke to this numerous of times on my page, if you've kept up with me, about the importance and just how much women have contributed to the tobacco industry at large, from growing the tobacco to rolling the cigars to marketing the product, from being lounge owners, brand owners, event curators, tastemakers in the space. And that continues to be the case, whether we're talking about premium cigars, where we like, your long filler cigars, whether we're talking about in your hookah lounge, if somebody smokes hookah and you see the women facilitating the experience, whether we're talking about in the cannabis community where there's mass market cigars being paired with them, i.e. cigarillos, or something similar to a backwood. Those environments have been curated, sustained, and elevated, if you will, from the presence of women to who we are deeply indebted to in the culture, because it's a sign of status. So when people are thinking about, hey, I want to get a job, or I'm looking to meet some high net worth clients, or I'm looking to close some business or build my book of business, or I'm looking to celebrate and I really just want to have a premium time, the cigar has been branded and used over this time to do just that. And I believe it has deserved its right to do so, just as much as we think about luxury wine, luxury bourbons and spirits, chocolates, certain type of food, like, i.e. caviar, certain cuts of steak or style of steaks like Wagyu. Those different things bring a level of presumed opulence because of the time and preparation that goes into in the crafting of which I think is super awesome. And I think as a for general context for my people who may be saying, okay, I kind of know all of that. So what is kind of the reason for you kind of explaining that if I kind of get the drift? Because I've been a product of understanding it. I've watched The Godfather. I've seen Michael Jordan. I've seen Jalen Hurts. I've seen a Cam Newton. I've seen, the Scarface. I've seen these different type of Suge Knight. I've seen these different people partake in this stuff. It's just a mode why. And a good framework that I kind of always follow is very simple, which is the who, what, when, where, and why. Who are we doing this for? Who's the person? You know, are we having a cigar with an investor? Are we having a cigar with a teacher? Are we having a cigar with a date? Are we having a cigar with our pastor? Are we having, who's the occasion? Who's the person rather? What's the occasion? Because the occasion, think about it, the occasion shifts ideas on attire, hairstyle, car we drive, the outfit that we choose, the thought process that we go into, the occasion, the whole nine. Where is it? Is it indoors? Is it outdoors? Is it on a vacation resort? Is it in a corporate venue? Is it in a lounge? Is it in a 5-star restaurant, a neighborhood restaurant? Is it in a park, a golf course? All of these things kind of help you kind of make certain key decisions. You know what I'm saying? Where and why. The why. Why are we doing this? Is it to celebrate the birth? Is it to celebrate, the occasion? Is it to mourn a death? Because, I smoked a lot of cigars recently in the passing of my grandmother. And I smoke cigars for a lot of spiritual reasons. I think all of these things, as a luxury statement, make sense. And I think that as a continuous smoker, as someone who already partakes, if that's you, that is something that if you start sharing those categories with other people who smoke, it can make people value their individual ritual and experience all the same. And then if you catch someone new who may be thinking like, hey, I really want to get into this, but what do y'all get out of it? Then there's a little framework for you to keep it simple, stupid, where you can make your point and make an eloquent point that maybe say, okay, well, cool. All right, well, I ain't had no baby. I ain't had a job promotion in a couple years. I haven't had a big reason to celebrate. Then you can give them just for therapy, man. Because some of the time the conversation is just that I have is so profound, and I think I get more out of that than anything else. So, backstory for the people who have not been keeping up with my personal journey, or maybe it's your first time finding me. Maybe you found me on YouTube, or you heard about me and never had a chance to talk to me. And I hope that I get a chance to earn some more time with you over this experience for you and I to become friends. But I am a tobacconist, and I'm a damn good one at that. You know what I'm saying? And what I do primarily, for as my everyday work, is I make cigars, but who I make them for, the occasions I make them for, and why I make them is what makes me the sartorial tobacconist. Who do I make them for? You may ask. I make them for the people celebrating. Celebrating the life of people, celebrating the achievements. There was a quote that I heard before, and it was like a beautiful singer was saying he was celebrating the heart of women and mind of men in love, and I serve a lot of weddings where I get a chance to consistently be a part of the celebration, even in a small moment where I get a chance to provide the groom and his groomsmen, the bride and her bridesmaids, and the people who came to bear witness to such love, a beautiful token, of something handcrafted, hand thought out, and I get a chance to do it in a beautiful way. I do corporate functions a lot where I get a chance to prepare again another item to help close the deal, to provide a icebreaker in the room where people get a chance to experience each other in a different way, get a chance to learn who they may be doing business with, close some of those deals, or find out if that person is someone they want to do business with, because the cigar invokes the conversation. I've also got a chance to do many political functions, like the Congressional Black Caucus, the Republican National Caucus, a lot of the Southern Leadership Conferences, the Kentucky Justice Association Caucus, the Mississippi Policy Conference, and a lot of small town collaborative between community leaders, their constituents, different clergy members, etc. And you may say, okay, all right, cool. It allows me to, again, bring another conduit of communication, elevation, sophistication, opulence, and some decadence to the environment where people can relax and they can have a conversation, even if they have made different political allegiances, different religious allegiances, corporate agendas that may align differently, or or is someone coming in there to seek all of those things. They have some kind of common ground where they can find a piece of communication over something so beautiful as the cigar. And that's why I think when we think of it being a luxury item, it fits in all of these situations. I've even done funerals. I've done repasses where people say like, hey, my grandpa really loves this thing, and this is something that he smokes all the time, and in his honor, in his honor, I'm gonna have a cigar. I have people hit me up every year saying, hey man, my grandfather used to smoke this. Man, I would love to really buy some cigars and have it made. He would have loved to know that a young brother made these cigars, and I would go smoke them with my brothers and stuff at the grave site, or they're gonna put some on his grave. I've had that happen a lot. I.e., what I'm saying to you is that the cigar, over the course of time, has always been extended as a median of peace, a median of prosperity, all the way going back to when the recorded story of tobacco being used by the shamans, and the lighting of it, the Cohiba ritual, and the shaman, the Behike, would use it in spiritual ritual or divination. And that's something that's hugely profound for me as a Choctaw, to be able to know that that has went along that long, i.e. the tobacco in the pipe being known as the peace pipe. And modern times, we would consider that a good old parlay. So when people are having a cigar together, it raises the bar. It's a status symbol, and not necessarily status of wealth all the time, but competence, emotional intelligence. When I walk into cigar lounges, my general expectation before, shown otherwise, is that people have a certain level of strategic foresight, some emotional intelligence. I'm amongst the gentlemen and gentlewomen, the intellectual class, the aristocrat class, because I believe there's an amount of leisure. But that's not to say that cigars is only exclusive to the aristocrats. There are I know a lot of mechanics, plumbers, etc. People who have nice blue collar jobs, who love a good cigar after a hard day's work, or while they're negotiating their contracts, or closing some business, or celebrating a monumental contract close for a big construction gig, or whatever that may be. It's almost like getting a Rolex when you retire. The cigar has always been elevated in that place, and that transcends just premium cigars. That moves into pipe tobacco, because when you think of pipes and pipe tobacco, most people, especially in the black community, think about their grandfathers. Oh, my granddad used to smoke this pipe, and it smells so good, right? Or, oh man, my Uncle Lewis used to smoke Benson Hedges, or my uncle used to smoke Cools, or My grandpa used to smoke Winston's or Philip Morris's or something from Philip Morris, Marlboro Lights, you know what I'm saying? Or he smoked Newport Box 100s, you know what I'm saying? Somebody, you know, or he smoked Black and Miles, or, you know, I remember when my dad smoked, you know, backwoods back in the 80s or the early 90s, you know, those types of things. Tobacco as a whole, man, has always been a mediary between communication styles and moods. Somebody having a long day at work, they go take a 5-minute smoke break and they go get, you know, a cigarette or whatever their smoking pleasure is. The pretty shawties right now, they in the club in the spot smoking them a beautiful hookah, taking their pictures and stuff. You know, the tobacco has always been this kind of medium, and my goal so far, as I have been moving throughout the space, is not necessarily to be the spokesperson for the tobacco industry, because I believe everybody's narratives continually push the industry forward, but also more so rather trying to assist the industry in a taste-making capacity, that when I'm out in these different types of environments that are outside of the conventional cigar lounge, I'm getting a chance to have those conversations where people are. And beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing for me to be able to do so. I remember, man, being in college, man, walking down the plaza, man, and I was the only kid walking around smoking a cigar. Certain classes, man, afternoon, I would be smoking a pipe, you know, and people be looking at me like, man, what is he doing? What is he doing? What is he doing? Then I start having classmates being like, hey, let's study for this test. Well, I'm like, hey, man, I'm sitting at the lounge. You know what I'm saying? Come pull up on me at the lounge. And, you know, for me, it opened the door for mentorships, because I was trying to be around the people I wanted to become. And that's a cool thing. And that's what the cigars have done for me, because it's a going moniker in the cigar community, both black and white. So for my people who are new to this information, this is one of those grand equalizer things, man. It's like almost like putting up a toast and saying, here, here. You know, no matter race, creed, origin, political association, walks of life, man, you know, a good toast will bring people together. A good cigar will bring people together. And I think during this time, when I get a chance to advocate and speak to different people in environments where in that time they're only celebrating something monumentous, and the luxury thing to do, the cool thing to do, is to have a cigar to be like, man, you know, I really did that, you know? I married that girl. I worked hard, I got that promotion, man. I just won the Super Bowl, you know? Damn, I just won the Masters, you know? And some of those people who we get a chance time and time again in culture, if we go through culture, we'll see those moments. Every time somebody win a national championship in football, we'll see them in the locker room having a cigar. Recently, we got a chance to see the reigning Super Bowl champion quarterback Jalen Hurts, you know, having a cigar in the locker room. We've got a chance to see the GOAT, you know, MJ having a cigar. We've seen LeBron James having a cigar. We've seen, you know, Cam Newton having a cigar. We've watched or listened to albums and stuff like American Gangster with Jay-Z, and he was having a cigar. You know, we've seen Jamie Foxx, you know what I'm saying, having a cigar. We've seen numerous of people, Rick Ross having a cigar. And then we've seen in pop culture, or, you know what I'm saying, like the culture, you know, hip hop culture, we've seen them having a backwood, a cigar, and it's filled with a little herbal tapestry. And ain't nothing wrong with that, because I indulge from time to time. But then we also see people, a girls' night out, and we see beautiful sisters and stuff having a nice hookah with their girlfriends and this watermelon slushy, you know what I'm saying, some good stuff. But also, we after a good day fishing at the lake, we sitting out there with Uncle John on the backside of the flatbed with a pack of cold brews, having a cigarette. You know what I'm saying? Or you with your homie slabbing on Sunday, parking lot pimping, and they pull out a Black and Mild. You know what I'm saying? The cigar. All things, if you keep looking through all of those things, the word that you find consistently is the cigar. And that's the piece of doing this as a luxury statement that I would keep trying to impress on people. It's all about the celebration. It doesn't have to be out of addiction. oh, I gotta have this because I can't function without it. No, 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 no. Think about the occasion. When you look around from now on, just think about it. Next time you see somebody smoking a cigar, what is going on? Was it just a good day above ground? So they just saying, hey, it's worth it. Or is somebody giving praise to their ancestors? Is somebody celebrating a birth? Is somebody celebrating a long day's work, a promotion, closing on some business, closing on a home? 1 million views on Instagram, they first 500 followers. And y'all will see me doing that. Cigars as a luxury item in lifestyle, part of the lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? I think it's one of those equalizers, man, and it's something to be celebrated, quite frankly. And for that, I'm super, super grateful to have the experience, to be able to serve. And the rolling out with the first episode, y'all seen me sitting at the park, and now I'm where it all happens. I've heard some of the most beautiful, beautiful stories from behind a table, very much like this, at many functions across the world. And in this season, 6 years later, I've had a chance to speak about those things on some pretty, pretty big stages. And for that, I'm super, super excited about. It has warmed my heart. It has given me an opportunity to take care of my family, to provide me a continuation of the legacy, to be able to advocate for cigar brands and cigar tastemakers, companies, to keep the industry that has treated me so well and my family so well alive, you know what I'm saying, for another, century, And it's also a craft I can pass down to my children, which makes me very, very happy. So before I get out of here, there's a couple of things I want to share to you, which supports this as a line item when I start speaking about the culture and cigars being a part of any kind of celebratory moment, okay? I've had a chance this summer. It's been one of the biggest summers I've had since I've been in business. I prepared cigars for one of the biggest athletes in sports wedding over the summer. Absolute game changer. And again, a moment to celebrate love in life and success. I also got a chance to do a cigar workshop at Essence Fest in 2025 in New Orleans, which was beautiful, super, super beautiful, because it's also allowing me to speak and taste make outside of an environment where normally this takes place, where it was during Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, so it's also not only for success, it's also another way for men to kind of find some balance from the ebb and flows of life, which I thought was super, super important. And for me to be able to speak to hundreds of people about the subject matter really, really warmed my heart. And it was a really, really big stage to be able to speak at the epicenter of Black culture, where we have packaged it and talked about it so much. Essence has been around since before I was born, and Essence Fest has been in New Orleans just as long as I've been born. You know what I'm saying? And alive, rather. And to be able to be here in the city of New Orleans and now live here and call this home and represent for it means a lot. To be able to highlight the brand that I'm a tobacconist for at Backwoods, and getting a chance to release a pack, the Bananas Foster, to highlight the city and some of its culinary delights and what makes it such a special place, and to be able to live here and speak here and have people come from far and wide to hear me talk about that was super, super beautiful. But then even last week, I got a chance to be a part of one of the most influential hip hop entities of all time as they celebrated their final chamber tour. And that's the infamous, the legendary Wu-Tang Clan. And it was presented by For the Culture, that's owned by RZA, to Cal, which is also, you know, owned by Method Man, and then the Backwoods brand in which I represent. And it was beautiful. It was at in Times Square at the Brooklyn Chop House after a sold out show in Madison Square Garden, where I got a chance to talk not just about tobacco, but food pairings, culture, celebrating, a momentous occasion, history, the love, romanticizing, you know, success. And what a beautiful way to capstone a night like that at home for those gentlemen, to be able to hold up a cigar, to be able to roll up some of that herbal tapestry, you know what I'm saying, and have a here moment. And for me to be a chance, had an opportunity rather to be in the middle of that and help in a way taste make and curate with my thoughts and commentary in a moment like that. It was just a hell of a fire moment. I got brought up by Just Blaze, an infamous DJ, producer. You know, he's done for Jay-Z, Beyonce, you know, Rockefeller, you know, of course. And this man has been exceedingly abundant in the culture. And I grew up thinking I wanted to be a disc jockey, and I got suspended from school trying to be like Just Blaze, and to be able to be called to the stage to talk about lifestyle and taste making and etiquette and the delightful experiences that I have to bring to the table just further cements what I do as a montage, a hat tilt to prosperity and success in the way I personally like to narrate how I like tobacco to be seen. But then last but not least, I got a chance to visit my brother Curry Hackett's installation at the Smithsonian Design Studio in New York City with his exhibit entitled "So You Don't Forget," where he documented, you know, his family's tobacco roots in rural Virginia, and he merged that with design and technology to feature AI generated art, you know what I'm saying, that spoke to and was able to create some of the stories that he knew, and some of those stories from his other family members' recollection, to cultivate an experience where now you even seeing cigars in the Smithsonian. And when I seen it, it was like, yo, this is in the Smithsonian Design Studio, you know what I'm saying, the Hewitt Design Studio. And it was like, man, they got tobacco leaves hanging up in here in a place that you can't even smoke. And they were so interested where he had to have the tobacco flame retarded in order to present in these spaces, which I thought was super, super cool. And I wish that you all could actually have seen it. But by the time this comes out, the installation will be over. But just to see those types of things happening means a lot. That's cigars, luxury, and culture colliding. And that's the thing, I think, even the title of the show, So You Don't Forget, was so impactful, because it was covering a lot of stories, which is a thing that I also speak to a lot. Because as a Black American, I think sometimes our stories get, you know, caught up in just the struggle, you know, and not necessarily the beautiful things that have kind of aided us and kept us here. And particularly in the Black cigar community, or our narrative is kind of really rooted in consumerism, and not necessarily our ancestors grew this. This was a crop our ancestors grew and still grow. You know, I'm a byproduct of that. Curry is a byproduct of that. A lot of families in Kentucky are products of that. Virginia, Connecticut, you know, are products of that. And those are the things that we can't forget. And I'm doing one of the jobs myself, you know what I'm saying, getting out here speaking to the subject, but to see other people, my peers, be out here thinking and talking about this. This is not to say our journey is better. It's just saying we have a story that contributes. Even when I did the cigar with the LCA, during Black History Month, the Stephen, it was that particular thing to talk about, Stephen Blade, who came up and created a type of tobacco or process around tobacco that's still being used today. And all of the families, the Black families across the Americas and the Caribbeans who have grown and sharecropped this product, and never really spoke about it due to some kind of shame or maybe they lost that information themselves. And this is just one of those things. When we think about this is where all of those things collide. And that's why when I think of the cigar, it's something special, it's something sacred to me. It's something sacred to me. And I hope that, that conversation resonates with you. And yeah, man. Welcome to the Rolling Now. The very first episode after the prelude. And I want to say before I get out of here, man, like, I really, really appreciate y'all taking the time out of your schedule, to be here with me. As one of my mentors and OG by the name of Anthony Ducksworth, affectionately known as Duck, one of the owners of Churchill Smoke Shop in Jackson, Mississippi, said that you could be anywhere in the world, but you're right here with us. And I appreciate you for being here with us. And you're probably saying, who is us? It's me and my ancestors. My forefathers who allowed me to do this. This is not a decorative piece. This is an heirloom, being here with the spirit of, my loved ones who sit with me and give me the fortitude to do something that kind of makes me uncomfortable, but the show must go on. And I'm super, super proud that I'm taking the opportunity to do so and get a chance to build and preserve the industry. And over the next couple episodes, we'll talk about some other topics, that I find very, very important to the cultivation of the space and the continuation of the space. I mean, the cigars and fashion and music and cigars and the psychology behind luxury and ideal cigar pairings and myths and truths about the cigar industry and, watches and timepieces and, all types of different subjects around taste making, around the plant. But then as time goes on, I can talk about other stuff that I enjoy, the arts, music, film, television, some of my books that I'm reading, cigar blends that I'm crafting, just conversations about growing the business, internal struggles, just the list goes on, because these are the type of conversations that I actually have behind the table when I'm out. And I just want to share some of those with y'all. So as we build it out, some things may change from time to time, because I'm figuring it out. And I told y'all in that first episode that that's what I plan on doing. And I'm glad that y'all taking the walk with me. In a year or so, man, this thing will be at 1 million+ followers, man. And the ones that would mean the most to me is you all taking the time, the first group, to say, hey, I'm gonna take a chance and listen to this cat talk and join him. And so in closing, some of my final words about this cigar. I'm really, really a fan of Sinestro. Classic blends, not too much, not skipping any details here. No bad aftertaste. Room notice, very, very beautiful. Label design is simple, sleek, and to the point. La Aurora makes some good cigars. Sinestro makes some good cigars. I really, really love this cigar. 1 to 10 bow ties, I would say this is a 9.2 bow ties. You get 9.2 bow ties for this. Very, very good. Ideal pairing outside of some tea, I probably would say for me, in my rotation, it would probably be like some Honduran or Ethiopian coffee or a Cuban espresso. Really, really love that a lot. If I had to have a cocktail, I would probably go French 75 for me. probably some 60% cacao chocolate, or some dates. Shout out to Chase for dates. Some dates will go very, very well with this and a nice espresso. Man, shout out to Sinestro, man. The Honor Amongst Thieves. I know this is one of those cigars you can find in a lot of lounges, but if you don't have a lounge that nearby, there are probably some online options like Luxury Cigar Club, a couple others that may have it. I think Provider may have it online. Some online store may actually have this. But if you are a person who really wants to support your local lounge, man, go up and tell them, man, hey, I want the Honor Amongst Thieves, man. I heard the Sartorial Tobacconist talking about it, and it's something worth a try. I definitely think this is a giftable cigar, and I think you should give it a shot. And over the course of the podcast, I'll be making cigars because that's normally what I'm doing. I'll probably have the less nervous tics if I'm actually making cigars for projects. So as we kind of get the hang of talking on camera and being able to make the cigars, I'll probably just, because this is where I make them, and this will be a good use of the hour of my time. So man, in closing, I love you all. I appreciate you all for giving me your time, letting me earn your ear, and I want to be of value to you in that way, that even if you are new to the tobacco industry, that I can be your neighborhood tobacconist, that you can come through and ask your questions, get some clarity, enjoy the experience some more. Maybe I can offer you some new cigars, a new way to look at things, and just have some pleasant banter, over it. But if you are a person who smokes daily and you like, hey man, and I just enjoy having a good, clean cigar with some positive conversation, I hope to be a person that can offer you that value, you know what I'm saying? And if you're someone who just, here for some of the other conversations and just learning a little bit about the industry and you fuck with me, I appreciate that all the same. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy to have you, man. Again, I'm the Sartorial Tobacconist, you know what I'm saying? My friends and family call me Chief. And you my friend, so please call me Chief. And I appreciate y'all for tapping in to episode 1 of the Rolling Hour, you know what I mean? And I'll end it with some positive words. I hope that you feel good about yourself. If you're grieving right now, stay up, make right with your people. Tomorrow's not promised. It's okay to keep dreaming. So you stuck in the road, please, 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 just keep one foot in the road and just keep going, keep giving it a shot. Do what I'm doing. Take a risk on yourself. You never know when it's your time to shine. But when it's your time to shine, you need to be on time at the right time. You know what I'm saying? And in the words of a beautiful Negro scholar by the name of Erykah Badu, she said, "Bad lady, you gonna miss your bus. You can't hurry up because you got too much stuff. Leave some of them bags down, man, and go chase your dreams." Yes, Lord.